bet it is. So we're gonna try and try again. Gonna try and try again. Thank you for joining me, Shannon. What a pleasure, friend. I do believe it's Shannon here. Basically, can assume. Second time? Second time is not the charm. Not just yet. Hello, Mel. Hello, friends. Hello, you. Thank you, Shan, for joining us, friend. I want to talk today about pretending to care. To the YouTube friends joining me just with the title. I know it sounds a little bit yikes the way that I wrote the title. It was like on day 574, Meltmore pretended to care is the direct title, and that sounds a little bit yassi bobassi, but it's coming from this perspective of pretending to care shouldn't be seen as an evil thing or as a bad thing. Quite the contrary. That you can give someone something by pretending to care. You might not actually care about the thing that's being shared with you, but in pretending to care, you can make them feel like you care about them. You might not care about the actual thing that is they're talking about, but by pretending to care about the thing that is they're talking about, you're actually caring about them. And I'll share with you friends a little bit of the mindset that kind of led us to thinking about that, and then we'll explore together. We'll explore together what pretending to care has maybe done for us in our lives. Let me see. I'm gonna hold on to my cell phone until it actually works. Yeah, now it's like not working at all again. Hello, you. Hello, Jovan. What a pleasure to see you here with us, with Ryan joining us as well. Genuine pleasure with the bear. I'll be mostly listening today as I have to get ready to go. Have a good time, Shannon. Are you gonna dress up in outfit as well? I'm curious. If you're gonna go to this like almost festival-esque area, are you gonna LARP? LARP as a peasant or something? I don't know why. I don't know why peasant in that context feels wrong to say because I see Shannon as this goddess, So peasant is like so far separated. But when I say peasant, I'm imagining like fall is the Afrikaans words like bland or simplistic long dress. Why am I'm overdoing it? Oh goodness. Okay. I was just curious, Shad. Hey, belt floor. That sounds like some sort of like trauma trauma trigger for someone who was like beaten with a belt to the floor or something. God nugget. Hello, Shannon. Thank you for joining us as well. Gobbly goobly goobs. You Shan gonna have fun. Hey Ryan, Gabi. I don't know if you know what Shannon's gonna do. I just shared a little bit of it. She's going to, at least from what I understood, a festival that have like Victorian era buildings and blacksmiths, and that's it's about as much information as I have. You gonna work? No, doesn't seem that way just yet. Pepe is sitting on my lap and eating grass, as you do. I'm leaving, sharing my love with all of you, coming to the space with you, Joe. Love you, Shannon. Have a nice day, friend. Thank you for joining us. Jobby, 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 job. Why does that make me laugh, dude? Jobby, jobby. It's no longer Jovan. It's just jobby, jobby. Jobby, jobby. Jobby, jobby is kind of cute, though. We have our jobby, jobby. Look, this jobby, jobby showing up. Man, seems we're getting some spicy Reddit streams, Peppy. Seems, huh? A struggle bus is we're riding again today. Yeah, riding the struggle bus. Let you drink my water from Ermia's pillar cup. You want to sit on my lap? You can do that. Human beings. Oh goodness. Reddit as a means to look into the lives of other human beings, especially Arpan. Attempting to open a window to the internet into my realm of existence. But for some reason, I keep opening the window and then the window gets shut. Well, I don't know if the window gets shut. Maybe I'm just like jammed. The window is like jammed, and I have to like keep wriggling it, and then eventually the window breaks open or something. Maybe that's how it works. I don't know at this point anymore. Hey, Clint, joining us as well. Such a pleasure seeing you here with us. I'm still here, just listening though. Okay, thank you again, Shannon. Love to you, friend. Sending you good vibes into your eardrums. Ernest joining us as well. Hey to you, friend. Thank you for joining us. I'm good. My face is numb. Just got back from the dentist. Can't stop trying to smile. But it's only a half a smile, which makes me want to smile more. It's like a I gotta feel it. Hope you have an amazing experience, Shan. Thank you, Glenn, for that encouragement. Where are you off to? Thank you for asking, Ernest. And hey, who needs tears? Love to you, beloved friend. Okay, we'll try a few more times, it seems. But we will not give up. No siree. I I feel like when I'm in this trip, in this fractal of trying to go live, it's almost like my brain doesn't want to completely boot up. You know, it's like almost like in the loading screen of being booted up. So I'm trying. Hey, look who it is! Damn Arpan. I mean, spicy Arpan. Love you, Arpan. No damning of the Arpans. I think it actually worked. Yeah. Love you, friends indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Beloved, because you are loved. Holy, not because you're above anyone else, but because you are whole. And you need nothing outside of that wholeness to feel that wholeness. Thank you for choosing to share some of that wholeness with me today. I appreciate you, friends, for pretending to care. Am I gonna go for the jugular straight off? Today's topic is about just that, pretending to care. And it came to me again in meditation today, where I was kind of reflecting on behavior, on reactions to behaviors. And I remembered this exchange between me and Christian when I was at his place, where I was sharing something. There we go, Maxine. Oh, that feels better. It's working. I was sharing with him this enthusiastic bit of information. I was like, whoa, information, whoa. And I was sharing with him, and I could feel, he didn't say expressly, but I could feel that he wasn't paying attention slash didn't really care about what it is I was sharing with him. And I stop in the middle of me sharing, and I basically tell him, hey, dude, I can feel you're not caring about this thing that I'm trying to share with you. How about you at least pretend to care? And he looks at me and he's like, you want me to pretend to care? And I'm like, yeah. And there was like almost like I am wrong for wanting him to pretend to care in that moment, kind of established, if you will. And we kind of leave it at that, and we move past it, and we kind of have conversations a little bit later, and a conversation about dads come up between me and him. And we're basically talking about our dads and the world they live in, and how difficult it is for us to relate or to sit down and to listen to the things they want to share with us. And then I, in that moment, kind of felt like, yeah, this is the opportunity. And I shared with him, yeah, dude, that's what I meant when I said you have to pretend that you care. You have to pretend that you care. And then yesterday, I was having a chat with my mom, kind of talking to her about brands, and how branding is something that human beings have fundamentally done, that religion technically is that as well. Hey, on beat. Thank you for joining me, friend. It's branding. It's like literally creating a brand, and then a bunch of people resonate with that brand and identify slash appreciate the brand enough to want to wear the brand, represent the brand, and how in trying to create a brand, the Meltmore brand, I am trying to both support my family and the community that is a part of the Meltmore brand, and how that is basically what we do as humanity. And it was a cool conversation. You know what? We'll do that. Care will be our intention. And my dad basically walks in as me and my mom is having this conversation, and you can clearly hear there's a conversation being had in the room as my dad walks into the room, and then the conversation kind of goes quiet because there's a lot of context missing. So I basically start over, trying to include my dad in the conversation about this whole brand thing. And as I'm starting to enthusiastically share with him, he kind of changes the topic and talks about something else. And I stop in that moment, and I cease sharing with him. I cease, I realize that he doesn't care about what it is I'm trying to share with him, and then I stop. And then I notice again, as I mentioned, I notice how I I have the capacity to care enough to tell him he should be caring. And I've done that with a friendship with Christian because I felt I cared enough about that relationship and I cared enough about him to be willing to say something like that. But then yesterday I noticed that even though I could share that care with the other individual, it wasn't going to be received that way. So instead, I just didn't. I stopped. And it's this weird paradox that I'm now trying to face of to caring enough to pretend that you're caring, like caring enough about the person to pretend that you care about what it is they're saying. Not because you actually care about what it is they're saying or because you're interested in what they're saying, but about loving the person, wanting the person to feel cared about, to feel heard, to feel loved. And it has been something that I've been practicing for a long time, this ability to care about things that I don't care about, to kind of remove myself from the context of the situation and care about the person in the situation. And the closest example that I can come up with that relates to that is my grandma. My grandma's way of communicating is complaining. Just look at this freaking, what do you call it? Hans. We have a word Hans, it's just like your Ventgat, your confident, but confident in a way where self-entitled almost. She was like nudging my hand to get some pets. You silly thing, you. I'm telling a story here, you silly. I'm telling a story. Don't you know? Don't you know, you silly thing? Okay, so my grandma basically communicates by complaining. And then this one day, she's just telling me this story about how the ATM kind of stopped working and they gave her a code and then she had to take that code into the bank, and then the bank teller was so inept, na 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 na, and then na 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 na. And I'm just sitting there smiling at my grandma, listening, like letting her talk about what it is she feels she needs to talk about. I not only did I not care in that moment, but I wanted to desperately get out of that moment because I have a very difficult time listening to people complaining. But because I care about my grandma, I could put myself through that. And after she kind of went through the whole conversation, I go back into the kitchen and my dad looks at me and he tells me, I don't know how you do that. He tells me, I'm like, what, do what? He's like, I don't know how you sit and listen to that. I'm like, I don't really. I'm sitting and listening to my grandma. I'm not listening to what it is she's saying. I care about the person, not necessarily about the context. And it's difficult to draw lines because it can feel insensitive, it can sound insensitive, can sound as soulish, if you will. But I'm really trying to reflect on just the ability that we have to love one another enough to pretend to care. Like I feel like that is a pretty cool ability that we as human beings have. Thank you for caring, for pretending to care. Either way, I feel cared for, and I appreciate that. Go and care about the people you have in your life, even if you don't care about the things they say. That is the message. You can go. You can go. Go away. Thank you for staying nonetheless, though. So much love to you. Hey, Coco is joining us as well. If I show up, I care at least a bit. If I listen, then I'm caring a bit more. And if I reply, I care the most. How about that one, Ryan? Straight from the throat chop melt. Straight for the throat chop melt. I think I might be missing some context, Lynn. Hope the dentist wasn't too brutal, Jovan. Thank you for the love. 17 and 77, Shanner. When I sat down to go live, it was also 77% battery on my phone. It wasn't too bad, Terp. I was quick, and now my face is funny. I know. lots of people who have the complaining communication style. It's about caring enough to remain present for the other person. Who needs tears? That's it, friend. That's it. That is literally it, and we can't have anything other than that. Not really. All we can do is give it away. Spend some of this valuable attention on the people we love. Degas, Fehu, or Ortholo, something like that. Love is the fiber of our being. The rest is adjacent to the simulation, the experience of the experience. This is one of your friends'. Love is the fiber of our being. The rest is adjacent to the simulation, the experience of the experience. One of you friends said that. How about that? How about that? I like your face, Joe Biz. You can learn about the person without sponging in the topic they're communicating. I think about what they feel about the topic and why rather than the topic. You see, and that is caring about the person more so than caring about the topic, because you can listen to a person, you can listen to that person's expression of the infinite without caring about what part of the infinite it is they're expressing. Jovan, thank you. I love listening to you, beloved friend. Yes, spot on, Jovan. You friends are so in tune. I'm not teaching anything. I'm just bringing a point. Your friends are like, Gabi, you've got a great brain holder. You got a great brain holder. Like, suddenly when I hear brain holder, suddenly Gob no longer has a skull. He still has a skull, but his skull is completely transparent. So his head becomes a brain holder. It is kind of sexy, I won't lie, dude. All of the... is a word for that. Sapiosexuals. All of the sapiosexuals suddenly gets instantly magnetized towards you, dude. Good day to you, brother Brandon. Uncle Becker's joining us as well. Thank you for joining us, brother Bear. How are you doing? You probably should be tired, dude. How much did you sleep? Fire breathing Jenny as well, the happy smile seeker. How is everyone? Doing even better now that you're here. Salem X47 is here again. What's up? Just lost my job. Ha! I mean, I'm not sure if that's the appropriate reaction, friend, like the one you gave me, but what job did you have? And how much savings do you have? And do you have a plan to get a job again? Do you have family that be willing to help you in this time of transition, Salem? Let me know, friend. I care about you, dude. Rambler joining us as well. Thank you, Rambler. I missed you yesterday, friend. Sorry, friend. Sending care. Thank you for meeting Jenny. Joel, Mr. Griffin himself. Thank you for joining us at the bed. It's nice to see you here. Genuine pleasure. You gave your grandma the space she needed to express herself in that moment. This is the way, friend. This is the way. And it doesn't cost us anything other than attention, And our attention is valuable. That's the thing. But we are willing to give our attention to things that are less valuable than our family is. And I've been paying attention to that a lot, trying to at least. What we going today? We going about caring, I believe. Oh wait, I know now. Yes, you do, friend. Thank you for listening. Customer service taught me how to pretend to care. Rambler, literally, did they literally teach you how to pretend to care, or is that just a skill that you gained through customer service? I'm curious about both. Booper Beanie Becker, happy smile Rambler. Thank you, Gobbledygoo, for sending love. It's the Gabras himself. It's Gabras. Actual Gabras in the chat right now. Can you believe it? I heard, a little fractal of the future told me that Gabras is going to be painting a flower very soon. I'm like straight up I don't know if anxious is the right word. Excited is actually the right word. To see which flower you're going to be picking, man. See into your brain as you look into mine. Man, seems like we're getting some wind. It's tickling my lips. What is the secondary intention? If the first intention is to care more, care more. We're care more today, not melt more. Christian tells me that melt more is an aggressive name. You think it's aggressive, friends? Do let me know. I think I missed a few already. Goodness. Barbara's, how are you? Woke up with the force of 1,000 suns. And you see. Shannon? No, that's not Shannon. That's Maxine. I feel Maxine, Jovan, and Shannon live in the same fractal in my head of these extreme, divine feminine beings that see, that really see, and I would give 1,000 suns in order to know what it is they see. And the fact that they're willing to share with me in parts what it is they see, I thank you. I thank you, Maxine. Thank you for sharing even a single sun with us today, friend. So much love to you. Good morning, Reddit fam. Thank you, Jovan, for sharing love here as well. Meltmore reminds me of a psychedelic blob. How is that aggressive? Okay, no, good. So, Meltmore is for me also almost like a psychedelic blob. For me, like a psychedelic, hyper transforming, ever morphing, any shape taking entity. That's what it is like to me in my mind at this point. It has all of these other meanings attached to it as well, of like duality and the infinity and time and butterflies and melting into samadhi, melting the ego away and becoming one with the infinity, yada 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 yada. But melt more, just the words themselves kind of make me think of that a receptivity, almost like a core into which things can only ceaselessly melt more and 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 more. But today we'll care more instead of melting more. Hey, jumping Jack, Jumanji, joining us, Jagan, Jafor, Janother, Jaday, thank you. Hello, birdie. Oh, you're gorgeous. You are so beautiful. I don't know if you know what I'm saying, but I'm saying that I like the way you look, yo. I don't know if that is offensive. I'm sure you have a beautiful soul as well. I'm sure your personality is stunning, but I can only judge on the fractal that I see right now, and I like it. Like I feel like he's understanding me. Do you understand me? Doesn't break eye contact. I'm gonna take that as a no. Maybe you don't understand me, but I think you can feel what it is I'm trying to send to you. Like, I wonder if I can show you, friends, even. He's sitting on the roof. He's like, at most, 4 meters away. How pretty. He's so curious. I'm curious about you too, little dude. I am, man. I wonder about the life that you live, dude. Wow, how fantastical. Like the adventures you get to go on, huh? I wonder if they care. I think he does. I think he wouldn't be sitting there watching me as intently as he is right now, and me watching him as intently as I am right now, if both of us didn't care. Huh, Puppy? Where's Puppy, actually? Puppy cares as well. So I'm curious. Is caring? I don't think so, actually. Is caring a feature or a function of humanity alone? I'm gonna try and show you, though. Let's see if I can catch him without him flying away. doesn't look as impressive on the camera. But he's purple. He has like purple underneath his throat, and then he has blue underneath his wings. And he's just like looking back and forth. Now he's looking directly at me. Now he's looking at me from an angle. Looking at me directly. You see that? That dude knows, yo. That dude knows things. Please teach me, little burb. Please teach me stuff. It's teaching me calm. Sense of calm. Thank you, little teacher. I've had this theory as of late, and you can tell me if it's a little bit woo-woo, but the lizards in my environment have been becoming more and more tame the more time I spend at home. You know, to the point where they're not really too alarmed by me anymore. And I do this thing where I like dance with my hands towards them. Like they'll stand there and I see them noticing me and like tilting their little heads up at me, and then I'll do this to them. You know, I can't speak to them. I know they won't understand that. So the only thing that they can interpret is body movement, and they like, you know, head bop at each other. So they communicate in movement, definitely. So I don't know what it is I'm saying to them, but I do like to communicate in movement to them. And the more I communicate with them, the more chill they become. And I wonder if it's the same for the burbs. Eventually we'll be like Disney princess-esque. We'll just have burbs coming and landing on us. Not exactly a Disney song, but it's the closest one I can think of. Blessings and prosperity to you too, Jumpin' Jack. Love to you, fire breathing Jenny. Impossible night. Hello to you, friend. Jenny, love to you. Thank you, Jovan, for that love. I'm trying to imagine a drill instructor yelling, "Melt more, you worthless maggots!" Oh, goodness. Yes. I can see it, Brother Ryan. You know, one day Meltmore becomes so massive, we'll have a whole military division. Defensive military, you know. Meltmore! That's killing me. Suddenly a whole fractal in my brain. Thank you, Brother Ryan, for that. I think I missed a few here. People complaining communication, I like your face, you can learn, loving people, spot on, it's very good brain holder. My dome is home of nothing to come. Dude, you're so freaking cool, man. I don't think it's aggressive at all. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you, Who Needs Tears. No, not aggressive. Cool. I don't know if I can block this. Let's see. One thing that can be seen as hopeful. There we go. Put user in timeout. Hide user on channel. There we go. We can do that. There we go. And then we can report spam. Sick. Thank you for attempting, though. You know, Mr. Bot. You're probably just grinding as well. Just executing your code. I'm sorry, Mr. Robot, that you have to do the bidding of people that might not have the best intentions for other human beings. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Let me see. AI dating? AI dating. Oh, that's actually AI dating. Oh, goodness. I mean, like, they seem to know their demographic. They were like, yeah, these people talk about AI all the time. They must surely want to date the robots as well. Don't even get me started. Are we going to be dating the robots, friends? I'm kind of concerned. Animal spirit guides are real. Oh, yes, they are, friend. Oh, yes, like I wasn't even remotely joking about that. Maxine, one of my biggest guides has been Pippi. You know, she teaches me every single day. I guess that would be aggressive. Maybe a little bit. Good point. Pretending to care was a skill I gained from customer service. It's a useful one to have. And I feel pretending to care is a level of care that is even more mature than actually caring. right? Like you can care about something someone is saying from a place of giddy childlike attention, and it can be beautiful sharing in that way. But if you can pretend to care to let someone else share in that giddy childlike attention, then that is you being mature enough to allow someone that. And that's pretty cool to me. I think it is possible, Melt. My PA is like an animal whisperer dude. He has built an awesome bond with a wild butcher bird where he lives. It's an absolute trip. They're aware, Clint. They're just as aware as we are. And in the world that they live in, danger is very prevalent. So if you show them in their world, because you are technically their world in a way as well, if you show them that there is in this world entities that in fact not only doesn't want to harm them, but wants to benefit them, then they adjust their behaviors towards that. They're like, oh, this person doesn't want to murder me. How about that? To caring more, friends. Took us 31 minutes to actually start smoking this joint. Do excuse me, but here we are. At least something that I can give myself some closure on is that I'm not manically trying to inhale cannabinoids, right? If I was addicted to the substance, I don't believe I would be as calm about it. I don't know if I'm trying to justify, I guess that's the word I was looking for, or if I'm just paying attention. Good point for sure. Ravens help me all the time. Unfortunately, I have been ruined by the internet, and now Rick and Morty is what comes to mind when I think of ravens. That episode where Rick is just a or the Raven Man or whatever. It's so bad. That guy is trying to get your attention. He got my attention. He got my attention. He got me to care. He got me to pretend to care, if anything. So I'm happy, Maxine. I felt like I got to have a moment. Y'all have big burbs. They're pretty big. I mean, that little dude is. How can I. The one I showed you, he's about that big. He's about that big, you know? Yes, exactly like that. Mm, it's insane. Just sent me a message. Uh, the lizard's watching Melt hand rave, literally. And the first time that I hand raved for a lizard was while I was smoking a joint close to a window. I was like smoking this joint, and then I realized there is this lizard watching me smoking the joint. And then I was like, this dude is in the world with me right now. He is of the world with me right now. But instead, or at least up to this point, instead of me and him having a recognition of both of each other in this space, he was more aware than I was and was aware of me in his space before I was aware of him in my space. And then when I realized that, I was like, damn, there can be a next level of awareness when we both know of each other. You know, if I show him that I know about him, and then I was like, how am I going to show this little lizard that I know about him? And I was like, I can't exactly speak to him because I don't know if he's going to understand that I'm speaking at him. And then I was like, well, how do they communicate? And had all of these references of them, like, you know, lifting their little arms up and stuff like that. And I was like, maybe I'll just move my hands towards him. And I start moving my hand. And at first, he's like, becomes skitterish. And then he realizes I'm not getting any closer. And then I'm just like moving my hands. You know, and I'm just like wondering, what the hell is this little dude seeing right now? What does he think he's seeing? You know, in this world, there is this random ass monkey entity walking about, inhaling smoke, exhaling said smoke, and then hand raving at me. And I'm a lizard. You know, I eat bugs for a living. Literally, my job is to eat bugs. This is what I do for a living. And now I'm getting a hand rave show. Hmm. Yes. suddenly I feel like the lizards on our farm live good lives. I care about the lizards too. There has been a bird, and I would show you, but he's way too far away. There's been a bird just chilling on the wall, and it's also one of those big ones. I don't know what they're called, but they're these waggly, heavy-set birds. Eventually, we'll have like zoom lenses, so I can punch in on him, so we can like all of them, us, look at him, almost like a little fractal of the universe. That's one of the things that I look forward to being able to do, is like really punch in on things, and then we can all be like, yes. Look at this divine specimen of the universe, Burb. I'm so looking forward to it. It's not too far away. Spot on. It's on the Discord, homie. The friend of yours with the bird? I'm not exactly sure, Clint. I might be missing something. Your PA probably has amazing energy, Clint. I think animals read people based on literal vibrations coming off of them. Who needs tears? I think I believe the same thing, and so I'm thinking about a bunch of things. The thing that's coming up in my mind is this conversation that I had with a friend who believed that if you reach a certain point of enlightenment or a certain point of zenhood, a certain level of calm within inside of yourself, that you literally tune into higher frequencies, in like chakric level, where if you're just on your root slash emotional body slash willpower, I can get it done bodies, then animals might either be averse to you or be aggressive towards you. But if you can live within the compassionate heart space, within the receptive and creative space, with the insight space, or with the unity connection space, that you could literally have a bear walk into the same environment as you, and you can be sitting and meditating, and the bear would see you, but would rather see the vibrations coming off of you, and would see you as a non-threat slash something that is with nature, in the same way that everything else he knows in his environment is with nature, and then will leave you alone. But if you're gonna be a human that is in the agitated, I need to be safe, I need to be secure state, or emotional this thing state, or self-confident, I'm gonna come and fight you state, all of those previous states could be seen as threats, as non-unity with nature. And then you being able to tune into those higher states could then save you from that nature. So that's the trip that came up in my mind as soon as I heard what you said, Hoodie Steer. So I'm feeling it. I love PA. Like I don't I just call him, oh, Pa. It's my grandpa. Thank you. Thank you, Clint. That makes a lot more sense. I thought you were talking about your personal assistant who happens to be good with animals. And this is my mind. And personal assistant is one of them. If I was still playing Dota, it would have been Phantom Assassin. He does, my friend. A part of his job is in the national park. He's worked in it for 30 years. Was caring for injured animals and wildlife that has been hit by cars. An absolute angel in this world. Clint, no wonder you are the way you are as well, friend. Coming from there. I love Pa. So much love to him. I lean towards the idea too, who needs tears. What do you think about the idea of being immune to danger from nature if you're in tune with that nature? That's what I'm a little bit skeptical on. Because I would die. I would actually die attempting some stupid shit like that because I believe so much, and I wonder about stuff like that sometimes. The logical, ego-driven side of my existence is like, bro, you cannot, you cannot go into freaking bear-infested forests, sit down next to a river and meditate, believing that you're gonna be safe and secure because you're in a state of security, whatever, right? Because what if a bear just comes and mauls you? I don't know if bears have a taste for humans though. If you're seen like a deer, right? Like a bear will go for a deer because it's a natural food source. But if it doesn't see human beings as natural food, and it doesn't see you as a threat in its environment, it makes sense to me why it'd be okay. Ego can be a catalyst for respect. Yes, it can. Yes, it can, Mariah. Whew, you're like bringing something up in me that I thought was going to be a whole topic for a stream, but I'll share a little bit of the idea right now. It's this thought or feeling that I had about validation when it comes to ego in respect to using other egos to validate what your ego is saying right now, right? So instead of I say something and then the thing I say has value, has significance just because of how it makes you feel, I say the thing, and then you ask me, where did you study? Or who was your teacher? Or where did you learn this? Kind of a question. And then there can be this interpretation of this is the way that I kind of felt about it in the moment and said it. Or if you feel there should be some sort of egoic need to justify why what you just said is in fact valuable, factual, truthful, whatever word you want to use, you add, oh yeah, I went to MIT, or this doctor PhD 5,000 person, also agrees with me, or whatever. Why do we do that? Why, even though the ego can garner respect, why do we pull other egos, other corporations or entities? Like, right, MIT can be seen as an ego as well in and of itself, just of an idea instead of a person. It's interesting, Mariah. All of it's interesting. I don't know. I know I am meek and may look easily delicious to a hungry wolf pack. Yes, yes. You see, I'm concerned about the same thing, Jovan. Especially if they're hungry. You can be zen as hell, dude. They'll be like, Yossi, look at this. This one just sits down. How nice. Eats you while sitting down, meditating. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm quite there yet. Maybe I still have to get like 44 years of Zen under the belt before I'll be there, Jovan. Maybe, who knows? Maybe we can simulate it. Maybe we can have wolves. Like we can. How could we do that? I don't know if we'd be able to do that because we won't have that data. Maybe you can do like some sort of weird cage system. You can do chips. Like my brain is going to weird places right now. It's imagining a reality in which we have like either colored wolves or chipped wolves, and then creating a boundary or a barrier around you, and then you sit in that spot and you can meditate in that spot, and then you can kind of the wolves can go about their own business and they won't notice the color or the implant, and then if they were to try and come into that little out circled spot, discomfort would occur, for example, and you could technically gain some information out of that. That sounds like so many levels of contrived, and you also have to then technically have a artificial population of wolves, or you would have to find every single wolf specimen and chip them, including the bears and the snakes. My man, mind, mind and its levels of controversy. Thank you for the power, Joel. I appreciate that, friend. So much love to you too. How are you doing, man? How's life been treating you? Bears will absolutely come after you. They will they, Joel? We don't have bears here in South Africa. We have lions and rhinos and elephants and hippopotamuses and giraffes and zebras and silverback deers. I don't know if we have gorillas. We even have penguins here in South Africa. Sounds like a conundrum. Freaking conundrums. Conundrums everywhere, Mariah. Ceaseless conundrums, As soon as you think you've solved one conundrum, you've just created another. So the loop goes. Conundrum after conundrum. Care more. What do we need to care more about, friends? Now, more than ever, what do we need to care more about? Answer that's coming up in my mind right now is your loved ones. You need to care more about your loved ones. And loved ones can be your plants, can be your pets, can be your friends, can be your family, can be your significant other, can be yourself. Care just a little bit more, like a percentage more. A percentage of more care now and continuing to care more for 1% more into infinity makes an infinite difference. So start caring 1% more today. See how things change. Our gardens, Mama Gaia as our gardens, friend. I just happen to be in a garden here in South Africa, and it's so beautiful to me that you say that, because a message, if you will, that I had come to me today is I like giving plants water, and it kind of felt like a childlike, you know, a grandpa asking a 5-year-old kid, "What do you like doing?" And him being like, "I like to give plants water." Yeah, I like to give plants water, friend. It makes me happy. I just think about the implications of an active entity within the universe choosing to give water to a plant, right? Like the relationship that Mama Gaia has had with plants might have been semi-symbiotic, with animals kind of living in the branches and then pooping on the ground, and that poop becoming the food for the tree again. But I don't think it has ever extended to the point where a human being or a being actively took notice of a certain plant and then chose to, with technology, with engineering, bring water to that plant. And I've been like really actively watering these vines that have been growing on this little center garden we have. It's close to my bathroom window and computer room. And I enjoy it so much. Not only for that fact of like being able to give the vines water, but I've been actively steering the vines in between the rocks, like taking other rocks and pinning it down so that it keeps growing in a direction, and it has a will of its own, and that will be beautiful. But I can, as a conscious agent in this universe, almost dance with the plant. I get to be the masculine guy to the feminine's dance. It will dance. It's dancing right now, growing right now, using water, producing oxygen, and all of it's like just like into infinity. Every single direction you look, there is just life brimming, brimming life, non-stop. Something to be excited about, I believe. I think I missed some. Thank you, Jovan and Melt. He's an awesome soul, and I love him. What he stands for and what he stands for in life. He sent a couple of videos of him with Joey the Burb when I was in the hospital. I uploaded them to Discord. Thank you so much for telling me, Clint. Do you know in which channel you uploaded it, Brother Bass? I can actually go and check it out. It's got the word drum in it. So that's cool. Yes, Kanan drum. Thank you for the conundrum. I appreciate it, Mariah. That immediately came to mind each other. Thank you for resonating with that. I appreciate it so much. Who needs tears? Ah, what do we need to care more about? Each other. Loved ones, each other. I think each other might actually be a better answer than just loved ones, because it takes the bias out of it a little bit. Thank you, who needs tears. It is in our pets, brother. Thank you so much, Glenn. I'll be sure to check it out. I appreciate you sharing, friend. Literally allowing us to look into your side of the infinity through a little window that is a cell phone. I need to hear this today. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rambler, for finding yourself in this moment, friend. These things would have been said, but if you weren't here to hear it, you wouldn't know that you needed to hear it. And here you are hearing it, knowing that you needed to. Thank you. Sharing the love, friend. I'm currently growing morning glories on my porch. Plants with vines are awesome because you can shape them so easily. It's a beautiful dance. It's so much fun as well, and you get to see the transformation. You get to see how you have active impact on reality. And it's always like that. And that's why I'm still writing on the live like a fractal class for Skillshare eventually, because I do believe that every single one of us are fractals. Every single one of our relationships, be it with nature, be it with people, be it with pets, has fractal implications as well. In the same way that your hand on a vine can shape the way that vine eventually looks, your hands on your life will shape the way your life looks. And it's like, yeah, no, melt. I know we all know this, but it's something that is important for us to really recognize and acknowledge about ourselves sometimes, because damn, we can get into this trip of, oh, woe is me, now this again, now so and so, how dare they? What did I do wrong? Why is this so and not like this? Nonsense stories. It is. It is as it is. And it's going to be this way because we've always been here. Us being here hasn't changed. Everything else does. I think it is also equally important to care for ourselves. Very so, that's sure. Like, I think that's what I ended the statement off of, Joe. We spend so much time focused on others that we forget our own needs, and that neglects build up over time. That's why I said, even if it's a loved one, a plant, a pet, or yourself, care more. Care more about yourself in the way where I'm gonna do 5 push-ups today. I'm gonna do 5 squats instead of 0 squats. That makes a difference. It makes 5 squats of a difference. And 5 squats over the next 50 years is a lot of squats. And that's gonna make a lot of a difference. But all we have to do is care enough about ourselves to show up for that. And it's hard. It's the hardest thing. I've been saying this for a while, but I believe this puzzle, this fractal, is the hardest one to solve because it's so involved. You're not only turning basic 9 by 9, you know, geometry, Rubik's cube. This thing has infinite nodes. Infinite nodes. I think my stream on Reddit just dropped. Absolutely brain melting is happening to the Reddit service or something. Like, you have infinite nodes, and as you continue exploring life, as you continue learning new things, the amount of nodes you have, there it drops, the amount of nodes you have grows. So not only won't you ever be able to explore your full depth, but as you explore your full depth, that depth grows into infinity. We cannot stop growing. We don't want to stop growing. Why would we? Why would we stop growing? This is the beauty of it. This is literally the beauty of it. And we're just in a process of growth that might be a little bit uncomfortable right now. You know, stress, so much cortisol. Recognize it. That's the only thing that I found really helps, is recognizing these feelings. When they come up, don't run from them. Just be like, oh, thing. Cool. What's next? Oh, this thing. Oh, nice. That's cool. Oh, Reddit stream drops. Interesting. What immediately came to mind is each other. It is our pet brother. Thank you again, Clint. Wesson used to say each other's are chutters. 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 It's chutters, dude. Whose food is that? It's chutter's food. We're going to share chutters. I like that so much. Thank you, Mariah. He would say, "We play with the chutter." That cracks me up. You know, like my mom shared the story with me about me calling guinea fowl takatala. The correct pronunciation is tarantala, and I would call them takatala. And it's cool to be how kids, have these things, these reductionist ways of saying the same thing, because to them it's just a sound, right? They just know that this sound apparently represents something. So chutters is very much reductionist of each other's. What it's like to be a kid again. I see a sword of light that has like a black wrapped hilt with like gold lining through the black wrapped hilt, solid gold, heavy looking base, almost like a mushroom stuck to the bottom of it. Then like almost like a chalice like lip that goes around this blade. It's just formed out of what looks like the sun. Yes, extruded sun. Of course. You take sun and then you extrude it. Yes, that makes perfect sense. That's exactly how space time works. Thank you, imagination. Yes, Mars. He sounds like a little legend friend. He is. I mean, he has Mariah as a mom. How could he not be? Seriously. We're gonna pull some cards, then we're gonna say goodbye. This was such a fun stream. Feels a little bit time dilated for me today. You know, those moments where things feel longer than they actually are. You could tell me that we've been streaming for 3 hours, and I'd be like, yeah, that sounds about right. I also managed to fix one of my cards that were delaminating yesterday. I ended up going to the hair straightener. Why am I saying it like that? I went to the hair straightener. I found the hair straightener, plugged it in, and then continued to use it to reseal the card that was delaminating itself. And I was happy to see that it was actually working. I was like, huh, this is easier than I anticipated. So now I'm gonna take out all of the cards that are also becoming a little bit delaminated like that. You see that? Yeah. And then I'm gonna fix the rest of them as well. I think this is the one we fixed yesterday. I can now I can see. Yo, that's a little bit contrived. I can see the shapes. This is Healing Waters. This is the one I fixed yesterday. So I don't know if you can see the reseal. Like it was like completely split here, and it's completely split there as well. It's still kind of split. It kind of got a little bit scratched up when I was resealing it, but at least my cards are protected. So I'm happy. This one got a little bit bent, but it's not splitting. I bought this deck of cards in China. It was around the time that I set up my Meltmore Reddit username as well. 2019, December 2019. And I bought myself these cards, and we would purchase stuff from this site called Baidu? I think it might be Baidu. No, that's the search engine name. Taobao. There we go. And Taobao was basically like the Amazon of China. And when I went and worked in China, for the first time in my life, I actually earned a salary that allowed me spending money. Because when I was working in South Africa, like I barely had enough money to even eat food for the whole month. Never mind have money to spend. So when I came into China, suddenly I had not only excess capital, but I also had the means slash the services to order things and receive the products within like 2 days. And that was like that's unheard of here in South Africa. Things take weeks, if not months, to get to you. So to go from a life of not only not having enough money to really buy things, and then when you buy things, you wait weeks or months for them to arrive, to also to being able to buy things plus them arriving within 2 days, that was like actual drugs to my brain, you know. And I realized very much that that is exactly what it is. It's like actual drugs to your brain, and it was something that I had to get rid of almost. And this deck of cards was one of the last things that I bought myself, telling myself I shouldn't be buying things as much as I am, because I bought this deck of cards alongside like I think 7 other things in like a shopping spree, at night. And it's so crazy to me as well because and I was paranoid about this almost. Internet was really weird in China because the normal internet, you don't have access to normal services. Don't have access to YouTube, don't have access to Instagram, don't have access to Facebook, don't have access to Google itself. None of that. So what you do have access to is Chinese internet, Chinese TikTok, and WeChat, and then of course this shopping service, Taobao. So I would literally go through these ebbs and flows where my VPN would stop working completely. They would like find all the servers that you would connect and portal through, and they would like block them systematically. And then I would not have internet access for like 40 days at a time. And for these 40 days, I can't speak to my family because not even WhatsApp works. So I'm just like going dark for 40 days at a time, not saying a word to my friends and family, not saying anything. Not because I don't want to, but because I literally cannot even get a message out. And then during that times, the thing that I could actually use was my Taobao, my shopping app, right? And it was in a way a fractal, weirdly enough, because you see like the amount of things that people sell, like you think of the made in China stereotype, right? Of like all of these bibs and bobs that you can find. Imagine being in China and the people that make these things really want to sell them to you. And then there being a whole site that facilitates, it's like these micro vendors contracting with this macro vendor and then selling through their service, and then just that all over the country. And it was this genuine experience of being able to see into the algorithm trying to get me to spend my money, and then going through this process of not having internet access, and then being almost drawn into that world, and then me being paranoid about this is what they want, and then being like, but this is what you want, this is what you're doing, and that whole trip of like, is this what I want to care about? Almost asking myself, showing myself, is this what you want to care about? And I bought this deck of cards, and they arrived at the training center that I was working at. I would have my stuff delivered to the training center instead of at my apartment, because the training center was on the ground floor and my apartment was one of like I think 24 buildings in a, just watched a bird eat a bug. One of 24 buildings in like a block. So it was like 100% reliable that I could get my packages, and it would be very convenient because as I was leaving to go home from the training center, I would just take my package onto my e-bike and then head home. So this time though, I came to the training center, saw my package, and then brought the cards in with me. And at the training center, they had this massive lamination machine that had like these A3 plastic sheets, and I think it's like three of those sheets to laminate all of my cards, and I like painstakingly spent cutting each of them out. And I got ridiculed by the other teachers for being so clinical about these cards. You know, they're like, you know, they're cards, they get beat up. I'm like, yeah, they're still gonna get beat up. I want them to last, at least for a while. Okay, this card pulled itself. Going for some more phase mandalas. I mean, it is a new moon, right? It is a new moon. Whew. Manifestation, faster materialization. I haven't actually shared too much of that story before. How interesting. So now when I see the lamination, I think about that whole little fractal. Being in that, you know, office space. I was kind of being a little bit rebels. I don't know if that's actually translates. We in Afrikaans we say is rebels. Like you're rebelling. Right? Because I got the deck of cards around maybe like 2 days, 3 days after they had an intervention for me at work, telling me to stop writing my book at work, you know, because I'm not being a team player. Being a team player, according to my colleagues, was talking about, can you believe how much we spent this weekend on alcohol? No, I can't believe. Can you believe that other time when we spent that much on alcohol? No, I couldn't believe that either. Can you believe that we hooked up with this chick that time? No, can't believe it. You know, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm okay, thank you. And then I put my earphones in and I started writing. And then they were like, yeah, you can't do that. And then I got this deck of cards. And then I felt like it was an act of defiance to laminate my sacred geometry cards with their lamination machine. Ah, my, I'm so lame, really, aren't I? That's so freaking lame. At least I'm not, you know, destructive or hateful. Act of defiance is taking care of something outside of yourself. Cool. I like it. Yes, today is the new moon. Today is the new moon. Of course it is, Shannon. I mean, we've pulled this card before, but let's read it again. It goes cycles. It's a beautiful one to me. Very intricate. Cycles and movement. Living in cooperative balance with movement through cycles is the message of this card. We watch the moon as she rolls around the earth and shows us the faces of her phases. We experience the cycles of nature and the turning of the seasons and the phases of matter as solid, liquid, and gas. We cycle from childhood to adulthood to midlife to elder with the movement of our humanness. Conception, manifestation, completion. Everything moves in cycles and then begins anew. Mindful advancement through phases gives personal symbolic meaning to any event. Look to the underlying energy and movement rather than the event itself. On some level, a physical move, a new job, or a creative project, a birth, or an expansion in relationship is similar energetically. Each involves your intention to move towards new possibilities and fruition of your personal dream. Each represents a phase in the cycles of your life, experience, and spiritual growth. That I butchered that sentence. Each represents a phase in the cycles of your life experience and spiritual growth. Each moves you towards the evolution of your vision. Honor the progression of movement in your current situation. Honor the progression of movement in your current situation. Honor the progression of movement in your current situation. I honor the movement in my current situation. Thank you, friends, for honoring me enough to be in these moments with me, for caring enough to stay here for the reading, or for even pretending to care enough to stay for the reading. I appreciate you, friends, for being so loving, always. Thank you for continually showing me that love is true. I start tracing the melty flower on the canvas tomorrow. Mm. Are you using one of the four ones? Do let me know, gobbledygoo. Sounds like the Barnum effect. Statements so vague as to apply to everyone and anything. Technically, that's what it is, but that literally is what it is, Brother Bear. All of it is that. That is technically, in a way, what it is I'm doing as well. But it isn't that. It is what you make of it. It's noise, really. And then you get to, because it's made for everyone, from your divine and unique perspective, get to make what it is you need to make out of it. Right? It's not like divinatory, for example. That's why I'm not really too into tarot myself. I wish I had the inspiration to paint. All my supplies going to waste just sitting there. I mean, what inspiration do you need, Maxine? Apparently, there are three reasons people do things. One, because they want to do it, or they know that someone else wants them to do it. But they go together. Two, you know how to do it. And then three, you're motivated enough to do it. So I would like you to paint things 100%, Maxine, because you're going to get better at painting as a result as well, right? So that makes me happy. You're growing a skill. I do believe you can paint. I have two of your paintings in my space right now. They're like facing me when I'm meditating at night, doing my little liquid gold manifestation meditation as well. And motivation. What I need to do to motivate you, Maxine? Huh? What motivation? Love to you, friend. Thank you. Thank you for even acknowledging the fact that you would like to be painting more. Me too, friend. I would like to be drawing. I would like to be getting much better at drawing. Thank you, Shannon, for sharing as well. I'm honoring the progression of this bowel movement on the toilet. I see a trophy for you, Gob. Thank you, friend. Da-da-da-da! Sitting on the porcelain throne. Literally, human technology allowing you to poop comfortably. What an age to be alive in, dude. The 21st century. Happy melt dance and beatbox. I was happy, dude. I'm super excited to see what you're gonna be doing, man. Like which one you're gonna be choosing. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Love you all so dearly. Melt and all of you incredible friends. Love you, Shan. Thank you so much. You can do it, Beansy. Sometimes my supplies just sit there for months, and then when they're necessary, they get they get used. Have an amazing day, friends. Have an amazing day, Glenn. Love to you, friend. I just needed the muse to show up, or my hyper focus to kick in somehow. Whatever comes, Maxine, it's still going to be here now. And we don't have to rush, we don't have to grasp for, we don't have to force ourselves into, because when it is, it's going to be here now. No, you know this as well. We don't have to be anywhere other than where it is we are. I love you, friend, so much. Blessings onto you. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Look at that. Isn't that a scene? I couldn't have planned that. But look at how beautiful that is. Almost looks like the tree is. Oh goodness! Do you see what I'm seeing? It's the sword. It's the sword I was seeing a little bit earlier. Only this needs to be extruded. That's literally what I was seeing. I mean, it was kind of like curling over and it was going deeper and then it had a mushroom at the bottom. But damn. Okay. move out of the way. Now look at that as well. That makes me happy. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. My brain, my brain approves. Yes. Care more. Yeah. Psychic abilities are coming out. Actively becoming more powerful beings. Actively becoming more powerful beings, Maxine. And you friends, I honestly believe have been empowering me. Maxine, it's weird. It's kinda trippy to the point where the more we believe in one another, the more powerful we're gonna become, the more belief will be garnered, the more powerful we become, the more belief will be garnered. Into infinity and beyond. Literally. We are actively becoming that which we are. And I get to see you friends. I get to see myself as you friends, having already become who I want to be, you know? And then I get to strive to be as beautiful as you friends have shown me humans can be. It is humbling, delightful, wonderful, awe inspiring, mind melting, ceaseless. How are, like I trip out thinking about just how grateful, how blessed I am to be able to do this, to have these moments with you, friends, to be able to do this as a, I don't know if even want to call it an occupation, as a dedication, I think is a better word. Uncle Beck was perfectly synchronous, Brother Bear. It was perfectly synchronous. You know, the fact that it was the first episode of the Haywire podcast as well. I didn't know about it at all. I woke up just in time. I spent a little bit of time just in nature, not, touching my cell phone after I went for a little bit of a walk. I took my cell phone out and I opened Reddit to go and see what, you know, the Reddit friends are doing. And then I see you friends on the talk and I'm like, goodness, usually we're not up at this point, or your friends are not up at this point. So I tune in, and the conversations that I hear is basically completely in synchronization with the things that we've been talking about in the stream. And then I just realize that we're not crazy. You know, that there is synchronicity in the way that we're thinking, feeling about this world, and that we are not alone anymore. That we have people that think like us. Gives me hope. Thank you, Uncle Becky. Thank you for facilitating that space, Brother Bear. The sword has been sheathed. It is up to you to wield the sword of light, Uncle Becky, light buddy. I pass the torch to you. Serve the word well. Be the reason someone smiles today, Uncle Becky. Completely original saying that only I came up with, of course. Nobody else has ever. I love you, friends, so much. So much. Thank you for joining me in this moment, for caring enough, just for caring enough to be here. I cannot tell you how much it means to me. I cannot tell you how it makes me feel. I hope to continue showing you how much I love you. Thank you for letting me. I love you. Have an amazing day, friends. I'll see you again very soon. Goodbye, everyone.